Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carlo Prusa MMA. Got one of my favorite guests of the platform is making his return. He is Mansur Abdul Malik, fresh off his UFC victory last Saturday, taking on Dusko Todorovic. Picked up a huge first round finish, vicious knees started it, great TKO finish. Mansur, what does it feel like, man? You know, you won on the Contender a couple months ago, was able to make your debut in the Apex, got the first dub. Feel pretty surreal?
Man, no, actually. It feels pretty normal. It's from being in Vegas to going a few miles down the street to fight in Apex. Again, it felt normal, man. It felt like I was going to practice. So I'm grateful it happened. I'm grateful it played out the way that it played out, but it felt extremely normal. It was another day.
You know, I think you kind of caught some people off guard of them watching that intensity, that high pace. I mean, you came out ready to go. You really put it on them there. You obviously were able to land that vicious knee, which really started everything. Walk me through that knee.
Man, I felt the knee. I know for a fact that he loves to clinch. When he gets into like those heated exchanges and he might get hit a little bit or might get rocked, there's an immediate want to grab for him. So I knew that it was going to be right there. I felt it through the knee, straight up the middle, a little telegraph. And that was that, man.
Absolutely. You know, following the contest, obviously a lot of people blowing up on social media about it, a lot of people on Twitter, Facebook, all those platforms talking about you. What was your phone like after the win?
Man, I had to turn my phone off. But honestly, I love it. Like I love when I wasn't getting the attention, and I love when I am getting the attention. It's like you need to love. I think we spoke about it before. You need to love like both sides of that spectrum. It's crazy. All of it's beautiful, even the bad that comes with it, even the people talking mess online. It's all entertainment for me. I love it.
You know, you got to fight in a place that was familiar to you. Obviously, you live out in Vegas, you train out in Vegas. You won there at the Contender. Being back in the Apex, man, does it just feel like home? Do you find a lot of comfort in being back there for this one?
Man, it felt like I was there the day before, like warming up on that turf, being back there in the locker room, knowing where every room is in the Apex. It felt so normal, man, and that was to my advantage as well. Like not even having fought a few months prior, but being in that environment, seeing the same people that I saw before, it was beautiful, man. It was a perfect opportunity for me to show, and I did, and I'm grateful that I did.
You know, your opponent, Dusko Todorovic, obviously a guy who's a name. I mean, if you're a very big MMA fan, you know who Dusko is. He's fought multiple times in the UFC. He's fought some very high-level guys. For you, you know, we talked last time we talked, Contender Series, you hadn't accomplished anything yet. You got in the door. Was that was that one of the best opponents you think to really help you get in the door, then make a couple steps up the stairs?
On paper, for sure. Like on paper, for sure. That is a vet, man. If you even look at his fights outside of the UFC when he's competed against other named opponents, that's a good guy to go against, man. That's a good guy to go against. He's had a good amount of UFC fights. He's experienced, but at the same time, in my mind, he was just another opponent. He was just another opponent. But with that being said, that's a good man too. He goes out to fight, man. He doesn't complain. He doesn't moan. He doesn't cry. None of that stuff. That's a good man, good opponent. I thanked him afterwards. That's a good guy. That's a really good guy.
You know, him too. He's a very well-rounded mixed martial artist. I mean, he was trying to go after that leg when he was on the ground. What was it like defending that?
I was very familiar defending that. It was very. I want to say easy, but then I don't want to say easy. It was easy. It was easy defending that because I knew where I was. I knew where his positioning was. I knew where my positioning was. I knew what I had to do to kind of pull out a little bit and then crowd him at the same time in order to hit him. So it was nothing crazy.
You know, you got to walk out there. Obviously, Eric Nisick, Sean Strickland. What was it like celebrating with those two gentlemen?
It was great, man. It's all laughs with them. I love how casual it is with them too. We're going in here to have a UFC fight, which is like a heavy thing for people. It's like, okay, you're fighting inside the UFC's, build it up. Man, we're cracking jokes in the back. Even on the walkout, you can see them laughing in the background. It's beautiful, man. And it only goes to show how many times they've done this, how many times they've been in that position. And it can only add to my feelings and my good vibes when I was walking out there as well. So once again, it was just literally another day. It was so calm. It was so casual. Go out there and fight, get it in, and get out.
Sean Strickland have any one-liners for you ahead of the fight?
Man, he had many one-liners. Probably some I can't even say on camera, but the most important thing that he was telling me, he was actually giving me some, as he always does, very good strategic advice when we were warming up. Very good specific things that I needed to do, that I needed to focus on, what I needed to see, what I needed to pick out. That's regardless of what anyone else says. The funniness, the jokes, the whatever. That is a mastermind within fighting. That's an experienced individual. And he was giving me tips and understandings and different things that I should have focused on. And I did. And I followed the instructions well.
Does it feel good to pick up another first-round finish?
It does. It does. I'm not going to lie. That last one was the second round. I was like, I don't know. I don't really know about that. Let me get back to my old ways. So I did. It was good. But honestly, it could have gone the entire 15 minutes, and I still would have been the exact same amount of grateful. But I'm happy that it had ended in the first round in my favor, and it was beautiful, man.
With that first performance, against Wesley Schultz, obviously dominating win. You controlled a lot of that fight. You won. Had a little bit of adversity in there. You got through it. This fight, complete domination. You didn't have any adversity against Dusko. Do you feel like the world saw the true Malik in this last contest?
No, actually, man. If you look at it, I was in there switching stances a little bit, pressuring, going in, attacking, and finishing. There's so many more aspects to my game, to who I am. Kicks, grappling, movement, conditioning, every single thing under the sun, and then some. So that only showed less than a fraction. Maybe less than all of my other fights combined. Less than the things that I am. And the preparation, how much I've grown in between fights. Like, you can't even grasp like the type of athlete and the type of martial artist that I am right now in this moment. But I'm happy that I got to show what I did show. But there's so much more. There's so many more layers that people have yet to see.
Obviously a lot of people talking about you now. You jumped on the scene here, picked up a big performance of the night bonus, great card. There are also some people, saying, yeah, he looked good, but he's had few fights. They have this, the haters are out there. Does that fuel you? Do you like them?
I love it, man. I swear to God, I love it. And that if you're a true competitor, that gives you something more than any desire to win can give you. It adds something else, man. It's like a spark that just you can't get rid of. It's just like in you. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't get to me. I laugh at it and it's funny, but at the same time, I have in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm going to show these people. But at the same time, you got to understand that there's always going to be somebody. You could do the most amazing thing in the world in the cleanest way possible and have no doubt. There's no controversy, nothing. You just did it in a beautiful way. And there will always be somebody. And there'll always be somebody that agrees with that somebody. So you got to kind of look at that stuff and be like, okay, brush it off and just keep on moving. But yes, it adds to my fuel, adds to my fire, and I love it. Oh man, I swear.
How did you find out that you're getting the performance of the night bonus?
Man, I got a text from one of my managers. He saw it on Twitter and he sent it to me. And I was like, what is this? I honestly didn't even believe it at first. I was like, what is this? So then I saw it, I looked at it, and I was like, wow, that really topped off the night for me. It was beautiful.
Following that victory, was that something you were thinking? Was the performance of the night bonus even in your head?
100% was in my head, man. It was in my head before I even went out there. I understood that I'm in a position to do something amazing. Before anything else started, when I got the agreement to fight, there's an opportunity here. And as the weeks went along and the things changed with the card and me getting on the main card, and I was like, okay, this is shaping up to be something that could go beautifully in my favor. So I was going to take advantage of every single thing that I got. And I did. I put on that performance. First round finish. Thank God. Got that bonus. And now I'm going to do even better next fight, God willing.
After the win against Schultz, the coaches put the bill on you at dinner. After the performance bonus, was the bill back in your hands?
Man, the bill might be back in my hands tonight. I'm going to dinner tonight. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be enjoyable. But man, I could pay for a few dinners now with that bonus.
We talked about the whole phenomenon of casual fans in this day and age. The sport has really changed. It's grown, and with that, there's a lot new set of eyeballs. And we've seen with guys who have a very heavy ground style. The casual fan may not truly understand it. They may not like it. You see some booing in there. You consider yourself a true mixed martial artist in every mean of it. And I truly believe that you are. Your style is naturally very entertaining. You are a fun fighter to watch. You fight at such a high pace.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do any of that to put on a show, or is that all something you're not even thinking of?
Man, I couldn't even think about that stuff if I wanted to. In there on that night. I don't think about it when I'm outside of the cage either. But like in there, I'm thinking about me. I'm not even thinking about me. I'm thinking about how well can I express myself through physical movement. That's it. How well can I show everyone who I am through the things that I'm going to do in this cage on this night? I focus on that. I make my efforts to be my most authentic self. And that's it, man. Things shape up to the way that they shape up to be. And it's beautiful. And I don't even think it has anything to do with like a high pace or like aggressiveness. I could do things in a completely opposite way, and I still believe that it would be exciting because of the fluidity, because of the technique, because of how I enjoy it and how much I love it and the expression on my face. Man, I'm just focused on being me in there. So no, I'm never really thinking about them at all.
It's crazy. You're only 27 years old and you're very well-rounded. You're already putting out these amazing showings. Do you feel like you're getting more well-rounded every fight?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm getting more well-rounded every week. I want to say it in the most beautiful way that I can. Training at Extreme Couture, the way that I've improved from this fight, from before that last fight, that gap of time, and the ways that I've improved and how much I've improved is outstanding. It's literally outstanding. And people have yet to see it. They saw a little bit. If you really, really get into the depth of it, how I was moving, my body language, how I was switching stances within that small, it was a few seconds. But within that, you could just see the fluidity and the things that I'm thinking about and the things that are going through my mind and the things that I'm prepared to do in that moment. There's so many things going through my mind, man, and I'm such a different fighter. I'm the same man, but I'm such a different fighter. I'm such a more skilled fighter. I'm such more of an aware fighter. The fight IQ has increased. So, man, I'm on a different wavelength right now. I'm in a different world. But once again, people have yet to see it, but that's okay. They'll maybe see it one day, maybe they won't. But I know for a fact that I will continue to be myself.
Do you think that move to Extreme really put you over the top?
Absolutely. Absolutely. More specifically, the move to be under the tutelage of Eric Nixick. That right there is beautiful, man. Like beyond technique, beyond MMA, the things that we speak about when it comes to the mind, when it comes to being an athlete, when it comes to being a man, like all of these words and all of these things that he's helped me with has built me into honestly a better person, and I'm extremely grateful to him. It's absolutely beautiful, man. So yes, absolutely, that move to Extreme, extremely beneficial, a great move, but more specifically, Eric Nixick.
Do you look at fighting in a different light now? Do you have a different perception on it since joining those guys?
No, not really. It's definitely a lot more casual, but it would be a lot more casual if I was at any gym. I just feel like I'm that type of person. It's been casual since I was a teenager. It's such a basic thing, man. It's a heavy thing, it's a very, very intense thing, but at the same time, this is one of the most basic things a person can do. It's primal. This, eating and sleeping. It's like fighting, eating, sleeping. These are the most basic things that a person can do. So why complicate it in a way that it shouldn't be complicated? So it's always been a casual thing to me. I don't see it in any light that's different. If anything, I see it less than that. It's another day, especially with being out.
We talked about it before. You've been very open on the whole battle of mental versus physical side of fighting. When you're fighting in these bigger promotions, do you feel like the mental side of things become even more important? Is that even more apparent?
Yes, 100. For the average man. For the average man, yes. it should be a lot more focused on, because a lot of people can lose themselves or whatever. But I swear there's something in my mind. It's like almost reverse. And I wish there was a way I could like be even more serious about this. When things get like heavy like that, objectively, the UFC, the crowd, whatever, it's like I just get even more calm. It's like I'm even more in my world. I'm even more myself. Going through my day-to-day obligations, going to practice, eating the food, whatever. That almost feels not as normal as fighting does. I swear to God, man. So when things get bigger, better, heavier, whatever you want to think, it's like I just get more calm. It's like, okay, I'm here. This is my world now. I'm here now. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm just going to have fun.
You know, that 185 division definitely has a bunch of killers in it, a lot of very talented guys. Do you think you resemble the role of being a traditional mixed martial artist more than any guys in that division?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I just know that I'm being me. I just know that I'm being me more than anyone else can be themselves. Even like that's a big claim, but I just know, looking around and seeing everyone else and seeing how they act and seeing how they act as things progress in their career. I just know that I've been this person, and then I'll continue to be this person when all the lights come. If all the lights go, whatever. And being a martial artist, I just know that I'm just going to have this student mentality no matter what. I'm going to do the exact same things. I could not be in the UFC and I'll be training like this every single day. I just love it so much. Everything that has nothing to do with the result, that has nothing to do with money, that has nothing to do with accomplishments. I just have this student mentality, and I just want to learn. I swear I just want to learn. I just want to try new things, and I just want to be free, and I just want to be happy while I'm doing this. So with that mindset, maybe I am. Maybe I am representing a true martial artist within this division. And also, when guys get heavier in like the different divisions, I feel like it becomes more like a fight, more like being a fighter. Okay, let's train, get in shape. Let's go fight. Yes, I have that, but it's very playful. Like I can train with the 125 guy, I can train with the heavyweight. It's very fluid for me. I can do both. The duality is there. So I just know that I'm being myself. If I'm representing a true martial artist, that's up to other people really. But I just know that I'm being me, and I just know that I'm a martial artist.
You know, you've just mentioned it again. You're just being you. You're being yourself. You know, we see other fighters in the organization and MMA as a whole. Now we're seeing it in the lower regional scene, amateur scene. Guys who are trying to start a character, which some put on a facade. They try to really get that entertainment value up there. You've never considered that. You don't care about that. What are some of the reasons why?
Some of the reasons why, man, honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with my upbringing and my family. I have a very, very big family. I'm one of 10 kids, and it's a hilarious household. Both my parents are absolutely hilarious. So I have like this witty sense of humor and this lightness to my personality. It's like everything is like very funny. It's like very giddy. I feel like I'm very respectful. So I have like this interesting set of tools that I've just been living with since I was a little kid. So it's all very normal to me. I don't have to play a character out. I don't have to be somebody else. But then also, I feel like I'm just comfortable with myself. I don't need anything. I don't need to be someone else to achieve something else. I'm fine with being me, and I'm fine with whatever comes with being me.
You know, you mentioned, I think before, you have 10 siblings in total. I think that's correct. What is it like with all the congratulatory texts and phone calls just from the immediate families? That take hours?
Man, it takes days, and some people are making fun of you in a funny, loving way, but then other people are congratulating you in such a big way, and I'm just like, man, I'm happy. I'm very, very happy, because through doing this, you never know who you can inspire. You never know who you can light a fire within, so they can achieve something that they want to do. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm literally doing what I love to do, and other people are being inspired as a byproduct of that. So it's like, what else could you want, man? What else could you want? You're doing what you want to do, and you're making other people happy at the same time. What a life.
Obviously, I know it's very early here in your MMA career, but your rise right now, the way you conduct yourself, what has already happened, it reminds me of one person who made his debut in the UFC now, I don't know, 15, 16 years ago, and that's John Jones. I mean, I see a lot of similarities there between the dominance, the way you handle yourself, the way you talk. Obviously, he's done some stuff out of the cage that, all right, we're not going to put in this equation. But do you find that similarity? Do you see it?
When it comes to the physical part, yes, I see the similarity. I'm an athletic, former collegiate wrestler, long and rangy. I like to use a variety of different strikes. I like to fight in an exciting way. I'm very deep into the martial arts aspect of fighting. So yes, I definitely see those things, but I'm my own man. I'm my own person. I will never try and be someone else, and I'll never try to have someone else as a sole motivation for why I should change or why I should be this way. With that being said, I've watched John Jones since I was a little kid. Matter of fact, in the post-fight interview with the UFC, I was talking about how me and my father were watching him when he headlined a card in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. We were talking about how we were going to bring the UFC back to Maryland one day. John Jones has been an absolute inspiration for me. One of my favorite fighters of all time, if not my favorite fighter. He's right up there with Roy McDonald. But man, first of all, what a thing to be compared to him. That's a beautiful thing. I'm happy that's even like being said, but I'm my own man.
Absolutely. Now with that big win this past weekend, does that just give you more motivation to want to be active and get back in there as soon as possible?
Couldn't have said it better, man. I'm like, I'm ready to go again. But then also I want to make sure I do things in a correct and appropriate way. Take the correct amount of time off, recover. No injuries or anything, but recover. Just make sure you do it in the correct way. Have yourself come down a little bit so you can go back up in the correct ways. But I want to get back soon. Absolutely. I just love it too much. I don't want to be away from it. It's like it's literally home, and I don't want to be away from home for too long.
You think you're 3-4 fights away from cracking that top 15?
Man, I could be less. I could be less. I could be more. I'm not even sure. But I just know that each and every single fight, I just have like these beautiful, beautiful feelings within inside of me. And it's like something otherworldly. I can't even describe it to you. I'm not even focused. Maybe someone else is, but I'm not even focused on the amount of fights to get to a ranked opponent or this or that or any of that. I just know that I'm going to keep doing the exact same things I'm doing. I'm going to fight passionately, fight my heart out, always climb that ladder, win that world title, win that next world title, get as much money as I possibly can, and then bounce and leave the game for someone else. Those are the goals that I have set out for myself, however long it takes to get those, however soon it happens. I'm grateful for whatever. I just know that I'm having fun on this ride.
So obviously you mentioned John Jones, guy inspiration to you. Yep. A lot of people think he's the greatest in the world. Dana White, definitely one of them. All the memes right now, absolutely hilarious. Every time you go on Instagram, hilarious memes of Dana saying John Jones is the greatest. Man, what are your reactions whenever you see those?
Man, I'm laughing like crazy. Like that stuff is just. But then it's what's even more funny than that is if you look at like the comments, it's always them together. It's like a they'll join in and like make it even more funny, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And it's like a funny thing because it's like the MMA community. We're all like playing into it. It's like, okay, John Jones is the greatest of all time. Someone will post a meme. Other people will come in and defend him. Then they'll make jokes. So it's like a very light thing. It's a very nice thing to see, honestly. But all jokes aside, John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time.
In a perfect world, how active do you want to be next year?
I want to be extremely active next year. I could fight 4 or 5 times. Who knows, man? As long as I do things correctly, as long as no injuries happen, as long as my weight descent is correct, and I do things in a proper, strategic, and professional way, I could fight very often.
There's a couple cards still left in December. The big one in Vegas. There's one in Tampa. Mm-hmm. Would a last-minute replacement fight be a possibility?
Absolutely, man. A last minute replacement be a possibility. But once again, I just want to make sure I do things right. I want to make sure I do things correct because I only just fought August 13th before this. So I just want to do things in the correct way. But man, I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. I'm here to fight. I'm contracted by the UFC to fight. I'm not contracted by the UFC to wait around, to wait for the perfect moment. Forget all of that. If you're not prepared and ready to fight the champion on day one, then you shouldn't be here. And I believe that. I believe within my heart that I'm able to compete against every single person in this weight class already. But I'll make sure that I do it in the correct ways.
In this day and age, is it impossible to get to the pinnacle of this sport, pinnacle of this organization without training 365 days a year?
No. Actually, yes, it is possible, but your results may vary. Your results may vary like crazy. But if you want to be successful, if you want to do things as a professional, as a real martial artist, as a real fighter, someone that takes this seriously, you need to be at it 365 days a year. You need to be doing something every single day. And there's so many areas to cover within MMA. There's so many areas to cover within being an athlete. There's so many areas to cover within being a person, right? Because that's something we need to focus on as well. You just need to be on it, man. You need to be on it. And this needs to be the thing that you're focused on. You can't have distractions. You can't have too many people in your ear. This needs to be the sole thing that you're focused on. Under being you, being the person that you are, worshiping God, doing whatever you need to do to be within that good, clean, spiritual place. You need to be on it.
Is 2025 your breakout year?
Man, this year's my breakout year. 2025 is my breakout year. Each and every single year can and will be my breakout year, God willing. I don't really specify or think about a time frame where I'll do this or this will happen. I'm just going, man. I'm just going, and I'm just making sure that everything is just done with passion.
All right, last question for you, Mansur. What's the goals? What's the mindset like for you moving forward? Has anything changed?
Nothing has changed other than my goals of training, winning fights in clean and decisive fashion, staying injury-free, winning a world title, winning that other world title because I can go up weight divisions. I have that frame, I have that body type, becoming insanely rich. Other than those goals, man, nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. Regardless of hype, regardless of whatever people say about me, good, bad, or anything in between, nothing has changed, man. I'm just doing what I love to do.
Absolutely. Well, Mansur, thank you so much for talking to me again, my friend. It was amazing to watch you make that walk officially as a UFC fighter. And I think we're in the beginning of the dominance run for you, my friend. And always a pleasure to watch you fight. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. That's it for us tonight. That is Mr. Mansur Abdul Malik, the Fight Dr. Carl Parisa. Stick around, fight fans.